Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy FORZEROTOO, and what's going on here, man? Like, this is completely different. What's going on? This ain't a sport bike. What am I doing? Well, let me cut to a quick little flashback here, guys, and I'll fill you in on what I have here. Oh shucks, guys, you know, I just sometimes can't stop staring at Lola ever since I got her painted, man. She just looks so good. Like, she finally came together as a whole, and I just love it, man. Don't you? Doesn't she just look amazing? I just can't get over that. Green, black. I mean, she's got her imperfections because she's old, you know, but oh, just so good. And the way she sounds, let's fire her up here. Oh yeah, girl. Listen to her purr, man. She's just so good. So nice. But you know what? Even though she's amazing, there's something that I want to show you guys. So hang on, hang tight right here. I'll be right back in a flash. You ready? Whoa, what do we have here? What is this, guys? Let me introduce you guys to Aria, my brand new 2015 Yamaha Raider bullet cowl. Is she not the most beautiful piece of machinery you've ever seen? The perfect mix of nice raven black, subtle but popping graphics, and just the right amount of chrome. Borderline too much for my taste. But my God, she is beautiful, sleek, and mean. You guys want to hear what she sounds like? Here we go. All right, I'll go turn her on. Oh, that V-twin power. She's quiet, I will give her that. But just the nice throaty rumble. How about this? Oh yeah. So yeah, guys, welcome to the family, Aria, my brand new bike. Should we go ride her? So as I mentioned before, guys, she's a 2015 Yamaha Raider bullet cowl. And yeah, if you want to Google it, check it out. You can get all the detailed specs, but I'll try to fill you in for the most part what she's all about. She, between her legs, her heart, is a 113 cubic inch V-twin motor. That is an impressive motor. I think Harley Davidson just recently, with like their newer models, came out with 114 cubic inch V-twin. So as far as V-twins go, this is one of the bigger ones, the biggest, almost biggest that you can get. It puts out an astonishing amount of torque. I think the specs are only like 114 foot-pounds of torque, but when you're talking about a motorcycle that only weighs 730 pounds wet at a 200-pound rider like myself, that's a lot of torque for one single wheel to handle. And honestly, I have not been pushing the limits too hard, but I haven't had an instance where I've felt myself lose grip yet. But God, she wants to pull you off the back, and she's lurchy and turkey. It's almost like she's twerking, you know? She just shakes that ass. On top of having that real nice amount of torque, according to Yamaha, this bike only puts out about 84, 85 horsepower, around 4,400 RPMs. That doesn't seem like a lot to me. It feels like a lot more. This bike is way faster than my CBR 600. Like, hands down, this would beat it in a race any day. Oh, and listen to that sound. I don't know if y'all can hear that. It's not quite as loud as I want her to be, but oh, it's just so deep and rumbly. And she clunks loud when you shift, but then you get a nice like exhaust pop and it complements everything all together as one total package. So why did I pick the name Aria for this bike? You might be wondering that. At least I would be. So this specific bike is part of Yamaha's Star Series, and she's mean, she's fast, but she's unexpectedly mean and fast. Like, it looks sporty, it looks clean, it doesn't necessarily look fast, it looks comfortable, stretched out, and it reminded me of Arya Stark from Game of Thrones, man. Just that unexpected warrior. And I mean, the bike's named the Raider, so you gotta find some kind of like battle type person to fit that kind of characteristic of the bike and the name the bike model has. I guess that's my chain of thought process that brought me to decide on the name Arya. Especially with how much of a badass she was near the end of the series. I don't know if you watched Game of Thrones, but if you haven't, you should. If you're young, make sure your parents give you their permission first, because I'm not about to be responsible for the things you might see.
Well, fucking why?
But what else can I tell you about this bike, man? It's brand new. I've had it less than 48 hours at this point that I'm recording this video. And it's crazy. It's the first like big bike, first cruiser I've ever ridden. The only bike I've ever ridden was my Lola there, and it took a little bit of getting used to, but I think I've got the hang of it pretty well. But just listen to that sound. Oh my God, I can't get over it. It sounds so good. It's just not as loud as I want. But I don't want to be that obnoxious guy either, you know, and it's gonna take some convincing of myself to make me change the exhaust, and I don't know at this point if I want to try to remove the baffles on this stock exhaust, because it looks incredible and the sound that comes out is great as far as tone. I just want more noise. But then again, if I modify the stock exhaust, then there's no going back. So I'm debating if I want to buy an aftermarket exhaust. But God, just listen to that. And watch this. She's fast, boys! Oh, we got some classic cars. Yeah, nice. I don't know what's going on today. It's just a regular Tuesday in Lincoln, Nebraska. But damn, they're mighty fine looking. Moving on to the next thing, to handle all that torque and power that this bike puts out, there is a massive 210 wide tire in the back. That thing is fat, and it makes maneuverability a little bit, you know, slow, but she rolls in and out of these so nice that you really don't. You can't tell that it's 210, but I will say that when I jump back on Lola to go record that shot of that flashback, I'd been riding only this for about a day and a half, and that lean on the sport bike it almost caught me off guard. It was surprising how like nimble and easily the bike wanted to lean, because when I first started riding, the bike didn't want to turn for me, man. The bike did not want to lean. It was wanting to go in a straight line, but I figured out how to control her. Now I just got to figure out how to tame this beast. Up front, we've got a massive 21-inch front rim. That's huge. I think Lola had a 17 up front, maybe. Yeah, so we're talking 4-inch bigger diameter. She rolls over bumps a lot smoother. The suspension travel helps. This thing's built to be a lot more comfortable than a sport bike. But then the width is about the same as what Lola has on her. So as far as like front end maneuverability, it's great. The beautiful bullet cowl up front deflects a lot of the wind. This wind noise, I've got a real hard south crosswind coming in, and you can tell I just put my hand up there and it kind of quiets it down a little bit. But this is not nearly as loud of wind noise as I would expect or be experiencing going this fast on this same road in these same conditions as I would on Lola, because that doesn't deflect the wind up over my helmet at all. It just hits me like directly in the chest off Lola's windscreen. This one flips it up a little bit, like right about here I catch the wind, and yeah, it hits about top of the face shield into the top of the helmet, which is totally okay. I'm finding out really quickly though that this cheap Fulmer helmet that I got, because I didn't want to spend more than $100, is not the best when it comes to wind noise protection. Even with the limited wind that it hits me and my helmet, there are some weird noises that are coming out of this thing. Like when I was first riding her home, I had about an 85-mile ride after I bought this 2 days ago, and every once in a while there'd be a weird whistle that would happen in and around the visor where it's sealed, and I just wasn't entirely sure what was going on. I'm like, fuck, is my bike not right? What's going on here? And I just shift my head a little bit and that whistle would go away. So there's definitely some room for improvement of my sound quality once I figure out what kind of helmet I want to get next. But talk about the get up and go power, man. There's this little girl here does not hold back, and super comfortable, man. One hand just easy chilling in a crosswind. This bike is fantastic. Okay, let's talk about power. So I'm cruising at 63 in 5th gear. Typically, if I was up in 6th or 5th in Lola and I throttled it, there'd be a delay. Watch this. Just instant power. Oh my God. Gotta be careful on this corner because there's normally gravel. Oh yeah. Pavement breakup. But it looks like I should be able to get through. Back when I did the ride with my dad on Father's Day, we tried to come down through this area. It's coming from the other direction, and we got down here, and this little section right here was closed. Oh, this will be no problem. Gravel? Not gravel. Hell yeah, brother. God, she just wants to go. It's almost scary how fast this bike is, because it doesn't feel that fast. Right there at the end of my acceleration, I was nearing 100 miles an hour. I'm pretty sure I tapped it. I don't know. Y'all can go back at the camera and look and see. It's deceiving how fast you're actually going. Like right now, this is what maybe 35 or 40 felt like on Lola, man. Like there's all this up in front, so it's kind of like a car where you got the different you got the different stagnant images in your vision, and so the stuff going by doesn't seem to be that extreme because you're not getting just all that rushing movement, where on Lola you're sitting up over the top and everything's just blowing by you so fast, it seems, even at a slow rate of speed. We'll take a break out here at this turnoff for you just to give you a little bit better look at her all the way around so she's not up against that wall like in that other shot. Man, let me know in the comments down below, guys, what you think. Is this a bike that fits the 402 style, or, you know, am I gonna have to change myself up a little bit? I don't think I'm going to need to. The only reason I bought a sport bike to begin with is that it was the right price at the right time, and I've always wanted a bike this style. Like look at that angle on the rake, man. There's a 39-degree rake angle to just stretch this out and just keep her looking fly. Yeah, man, I've always wanted this style of bike. It's just been my dream. The Yamaha Warrior was the first one that I'd seen that I was like, that is a bike that fits me, that I want. And I've been watching them, man, ever since I saw the first one back in, I think it was 2008, 2009. A guy I lived with in Minnesota had one. I didn't even know he had a bike, and then I heard it pull out of the garage one day and was like, that thing is sweet. And I've always wanted one ever since. But the price was never in my favor, and it wasn't ever something that I could afford. So I've just been watching and watching and watching, waiting for something. Either one, my ability to afford something to raise, which, I mean, as you get older and save money and invest money, then that becomes more possible. But then I've just been watching the classifieds and the used bikes, not terribly, because I wasn't ready to buy one, but I would always check things out that caught my eye. And 2 weeks ago today, I woke up, I was going to the bathroom, I'm sitting there scrolling through Facebook, and I saw this bike, and I instantly fell in love. You know, when you go look at puppies at the Humane Society or the Pound, and you're like, the one comes over to you and licks your face, and you immediately fall in love? That's what happened with this bike, man. I instantly had the connection and knew that we would be longtime lovers. So I'm sorry, Lola, but Aria's my new girlfriend. And tell you what, man, this road is gonna be a lot much more fun on this bike than the sport bike, because I don't have to do 90 to 100 to make it feel fun. Just a nice, easy cruise. I mean, I'm still doing 65, 70. It doesn't feel it though, man. This is so comfortable. And speaking about comfortability, man, so on Lola, you're sitting propped up, you're leaning forward, your arms are supporting your upper body weight all the time. And if I would do an 85 to 100 mile ride, I could feel it. Like, I was a little fatigued. I wasn't ready to be done riding necessarily, but I would be okay with being done. When I bought Aria, I had about an 85 mile ride home, and I got done and was like, where to next? Like, I didn't feel like I had just ridden for over an hour plus without a break, without any sort of a change up, man. This bike is so comfortable. I can let my shoulders relax, I can let my arms just hang on the handlebars. There's no real strain. And being a 730 pound bike, you would think that it's heavy, it's going to be hard to maneuver, especially with that 210 tire in the back. But in reality, the motor sits so low that the center of gravity is low, and that means that this bike is not heavy when it comes to the feeling and the handling. Like, I can just throw this thing almost anywhere I want to with ease. Like, I don't feel like I'm fighting it, except for in the slower corners where I'm not quite used to the balance and the rake of the motorcycle yet. Yamaha did some amazing jobs when creating this motorcycle, and I commend them and thank them, and especially thank the seller for putting this out for such an amazing deal that I was able to pick it up and finally get almost the bike of my dreams. But I'm pretty sure that I just replaced my previous want of bike of my dreams with a new one, and I think me and Aria are gonna get along great, and we're gonna have a long, loving relationship. But just listen to this sound as I take off. Oh yeah. And then we get into the wind noise and shit gets real.
It's the Doc with a boner drag weeds.
10-4, good buddy.
Just for shits, 80 mile an hour, 5th gear dig up a hill. Hey girl, that's 100. That would be a lot quicker if I downshifted, but there's really no need, man. That is incredible. Oh yeah, dude, I just can't get over how freaking awesome this bike is. I know I've said it a bunch in this video, but it's too incredibly amazing to not talk about. You know, I made a little mistake by doing that, you know, highway run on my way to work at the beginning of this video. I don't want to cruise at the in-town speeds. It doesn't feel right to drive this bike this slow. But I mean, it's super comfortable, so I can't complain. And once again, my procrastination is paid off, for me at least. I know I've said before that I was looking for a new helmet, and you know, I never got around to finding one I liked. I never got around to actually going and trying any on to see if it was something that would work. So with that, buying the new bike, it opens up a whole new spectrum of helmets that I could buy. I don't know if I want to stick with necessarily a full face like I have, but you know, the wind protection and the capabilities to make these MotoVlog videos comes along with that. So I don't know, there are some 3/4 half shells that come with a detachable face mask part that I could get, but I don't know. I definitely want to still be able to make these videos, so I need something that's going to be able to hold my microphone and my camera. But I also want to get something that if I do a weekend ride with my family or friends, I don't necessarily need to record those, and I could you know, mount the camera somewhere on the bike if I wanted to have video surveillance. Because, you know, having a camera on while I ride is not only a safety feature, but then it helps me be able to make these videos. But I mainly started making the videos just to make sure I would have the camera on when I was riding, so I don't know, we'll see. I think a half or a 3/4 shell would be nice. That way I have more airflow, but it's going to be louder. So we'll see. I'll get some different ones tried on, and we'll see what works for me. But yeah, guys, I think that's going to be it. Let me know what you think of the new bike. What do you think of Aria here? I'm super glad to have her, and I can't wait for all the amazing adventures that we get to have together in this long-term love relationship that we're going to have. So yeah, thanks for watching as always, guys. I love each and every one of you. So like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. See you on the next one. Bye.